Have you decided that you're finally going to do an Alaska cruise? Congratulations. But you may be wondering which month is the best month for an Alaska cruise. Well, in this video, I'll help you decide which month is right for you on your Alaska cruise. Hi, I'm Danielle Hill with Hello Horizon Travel, and in today's video, I'll walk you through both the pros and the cons of each month of the Alaska cruise season so that you can decide which month is the best month for your Alaska cruise. The Alaska cruise season is between May and September each year. Those are the warmer months that cruise lines typically will schedule their sailings because those are the best months for cruising, and that's really the peak tourist season for Alaska and the cities that you'll visit in Alaska. So you may find a few exceptions, but in general, the months that you will be traveling to Alaska or that you'll have to choose from to travel to Alaska are between May and September each year. Let's talk about May. So the pros for traveling in May are there are less crowds and the prices tend to be a little bit lower. So you may get a little bit more value out of your dollars if you travel during that time because it's not the peak season or the peak month of the Alaska cruise season. The main downside or con that I can think of when it comes to traveling in May is the amount of wildlife that you'll see, especially if whales or humpback whales in particular are the main animal that you are looking forward to seeing. You can and likely will see whales in May and early in the season, but the peak months for whale watching are later, and so you'll likely see fewer whales than you would if you were to travel later in the season. Now, let's talk about June and July, and those are the two peak months of the Alaska cruise season. The downside of those 2 months are going to be pricing as well as crowds. So the prices are going to be higher because the demand is higher. More people go during that time than any other. Also, the crowds will be higher. Just said more people go at any time. So not only does that impact the price, it impacts the crowds as well. So if you're looking for fewer people or maybe a little bit lower price, then May or the end of the season in September would probably be better. But in July, that's when you'll see the peak crowds as well as the peak prices. Hello there. I hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, press the like button and also share it with someone that you know that wants to visit Alaska. The advantage of traveling to Alaska on a cruise in the months of June or July is the wildlife. The wildlife activity and quantity is going to be the highest in those months. Let's take, for instance, humpback whales. My favorite animal to see in Alaska is the humpback whale, and there will be a lot more whales during those months than the other months. You will see humpback whales most likely any month that you travel to Alaska on a cruise. But if you want to count on higher quantities of whales and even lots of whale activity, those are the months to go. The baby calves, they're the most playful. They love to breach and play all day. They're kids. And so it's fun to see them and all that activity in those peak months. So I highly recommend, if whale watching is at the top of your list, go in June or July to give yourself the best chance to see lots of whales and lots of whale activity. August and September are the last 2 months of the Alaska cruise season. As the cruise season starts to wind down and really come to a close, you'll notice that prices will begin to taper off as well as the crowds, especially once kids start going back to school and people get into their fall routines. With the new school year, you'll see fewer crowds and the prices will follow on that downward trend. So if one or both of those things are appealing, September could definitely be a good month for your Alaska cruise. Another thing to consider is that in September especially, you'll see less wildlife activity as the weather starts to get cooler and the daylight hours become fewer and fewer. The activity will taper off. Bears are beginning to prepare for hibernation. The whales are starting to make their way back to Hawaii for the warmer months or the warmer weather there in the fall and the winter. And so if wildlife is the main draw for you for Alaska, then an earlier month is probably going to be better. As you're thinking about your Alaska vacation, keep in mind there is no bad month to go on an Alaska cruise. Just consider what you want to see most and what you want to experience, and from there, select your month based on the pros and cons that I laid out in this video. Thank you for watching the latest installment in the Alaska video series. If you got value from this video, press the like button. And also subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. In next week's video, I'll be talking about the best length for your Alaska cruise. If you are interested in Hello Horizon Travel, crafting the perfect Alaska vacation experience for you and your loved ones, we would be honored to serve you in that way. Just follow the link in the description for your complimentary consultation. I'll see you in the next video.